Have you ever read a sentence 100 times, and then one day you suddenly see a puzzle in it you never noticed before? Well, that's what we're looking at today, a fascinating puzzle hidden in plain sight inside a very well-known verse of the Quran. It's a challenge that might just make us rethink a word we thought we knew.
So let's jump right in. The puzzle comes from a direct command in the Quran. And honestly, it's a command that seems completely impossible to follow if we stick with the common understanding of one key word: Iman.
Okay, so the verse is from Surah Al-Baqarah. It says, "And when it is said to them, believe as the people have believed, they say, should we believe as the foolish have believed?" Now let's really focus on that first part, that command, believe as the people have believed.
And right away, we hit a wall. How can you possibly imitate someone else's belief? I mean, think about it. If belief is this deep internal feeling, a personal conviction you hold in your heart, how can you be ordered to just copy it from somebody else? You can't just look at someone and replicate their inner state.
To really get why this is such a head-scratcher, let's look at the way Iman is usually understood. This is where the whole problem starts. Typically, when we hear the word Iman, we think of an internal belief system, right? It's that personal, doctrinal conviction, the acceptance of God in your heart. It's something that happens inside you, totally private and completely invisible to the outside world.
So this leads us into a logical trap. If we agree that belief is a private, internal matter, well, then it can't be seen by others. I can't look at you and see your level of conviction. And if I can't see it, how on earth am I supposed to imitate it? It makes that Quranic command, believe as the people, seem completely impossible to follow.
Okay, so what if we've been looking at this word all wrong? What if, in this context, Iman isn't about an internal feeling at all? What if it's about an external action?
This is where a really powerful alternative comes in. What if Iman isn't something you feel, but something you do? Grammatically, this means looking at it as a transitive verb, an action you direct at other people. And what is that action? It's the external, totally observable act of granting safety and security to everyone around you.
Now, this perspective, put forward by Dr. Khaled A Hasan, completely solves the puzzle. If Iman means to grant safety, then the command is no longer impossible. Believe as the people have believed suddenly becomes grant safety as the people grant safety. And that is an action you can absolutely see, and therefore you can imitate.
And this whole idea of granting safety isn't just some abstract theory. We can actually see it, or the lack of it, playing out in the world around us every single day. Just think about it for a second. When you walk into a peaceful restaurant or a busy market where everyone's going about their business, you can feel it. You can see the mutual safety people have granted each other. It's a real, tangible sense of security. It's a social contract in action. And you can just as easily see its absence in a dangerous neighborhood, where even the police might think twice before going in.
You know, this idea of observable safety is so real that even animals can pick up on it. In fact, their behavior can be a fascinating test of just how much safety the humans in an environment are actually granting. For instance, consider this contrast. In a place like Canada, you might see birds and squirrels that have no problem approaching humans, maybe even eating right out of their hands. They perceive safety. But in many other parts of the world, you'll see those same kinds of animals fleeing from humans from 100 feet away. They sense a threat. They're literally observing and reacting to the level of safety being granted by the people there. So let's pull all this together. When we shift our understanding of this one single word, the entire verse just clicks into place, and its message for us as a society becomes incredibly clear. The crucial takeaway from Dr. Khaled A Hasan's analysis is this. When the Quran says, believe as the people, it's not asking for an impossible imitation of some invisible internal creed. It's commanding a visible social action, the act of creating a safe and secure environment for one another. So what this all boils down to is that the Quranic command is about a visible social act, the act of granting each other safety and security. This view doesn't just solve the logical puzzle. It actually aligns the text with our observable, everyday reality.
And that leaves us with a pretty big thought to chew on. What would our world look like if a society's Iman, its faith, was measured not by what people claim to believe in their hearts, but by the tangible level of safety and security that every single member of that society feels? Something to think about. Thanks for watching.